Hello and welcome to Below Average DIY. Today we'll be making a homemade gift out of some scrap wood laying around. It's a wall piece which will end up looking like this. I'm making the state of Ohio for someone who happens to be from there, but this process can be used for any shape you'd like to make into a piece of wall art. The following are the primary tools I used. Some are optional, though I use them heavily, as I acknowledge many of you won't have access to them, like a table saw or planer, but they will still be helpful for precision and many of the finishing touches. I started off with a template of Ohio on a few sheets of 11 by 17 paper. I fixed it together with some tape and then started to cut out to the exact shape that I needed. Once the shape was cut out, I threw some tape on the back of the paper and attached it to the plywood. And this plywood sheet is going to serve as both our backing for our entire wall piece and the source of truth for all of our cuts moving forward. So I traced the shape directly onto the plywood. I first used a jigsaw for a rough cut here. It wasn't the final shape, but I wanted to clear out some of the excess wood just to make this piece easier to work with. I then removed the paper template since I had traced the shape onto the plywood with pencil and started routing the plywood to the exact shape with a 1/4 inch bit. I did a rough pass initially and then a more precise pass with the router to match the shape perfectly here. I sanded down the straight edges and then started working my way around the entire shape. This was the most important step for precision throughout the project, as this plywood shape is going to be the source of truth for all of our remaining cuts throughout the project. I finished up the plywood template with some of the more tricky cutouts as the last step. Make sure you take your time there, either with a router or jigsaw, to get as close as you can to your desired shape. Then it was time to cut all of my scrap wood to length. I measured the maximum width of my plywood template, clamped down a stopper on my table saw sled to that maximum length, and started cutting away at a bunch of different types of scrap wood. I wasn't going to stain or paint any of this wood to give it a more natural look, so I chose a variety of types of wood just to give it a little bit more color and variation throughout the piece. All of the pieces were then cut to length, and it was time to address their width and height. I used my table saw with the fence set to about a 1/2 inch away from the blade and started ripping through the length of all of these pieces. I would use this width between the fence and the blade itself for both the width of the pieces and the height. So after ripping down the length of all these wood scraps, I then turned the cut pieces on their sides to give them all the same height. Once all of these pieces were cut to the correct length, width, and height, it was time to start attaching these bad boys to the plywood backing. Just to make sure I wasn't crazy, I lined them up with the template here, just to make sure they're all going to be long enough to cover the full shape side to side. I threw down wood glue on the plywood, and be generous with the amount of glue you throw down. It'll dry up quickly and there's no need to skimp on it. I lined up my wood pieces how I wanted them configured on the template. Added some spare pieces of plywood on the outside edges of my cutout, since I would need to extend my scrap wood pieces beyond the width of my plywood template towards the bottom. If you see that bottom tip of Ohio, it needed some extra support. So as I placed down each piece, I applied a liberal amount of glue on the bottom and sides and pushed down and squeezed them together after placing each piece. I will clamp them at the end here, but especially if you don't have access to clamps, make sure they're nice and tight against each other after placing them on the plywood so that there won't be any visual gaps. Once all of my pieces were fixed to the plywood, I used clamps to squeeze them together even more and further eliminate those gaps in between. I then threw some paper, plywood, and a weight on top so that these pieces wouldn't curl up under the pressure of the clamps while the glue dried overnight. After waiting overnight for the glue to cure, I ripped up the spare plywood pieces that I had used for extra support on the bottom, and then started to tear off some of the larger pieces of excess glue that had pooled over the sides of the plywood. This was necessary since I would use the shape of this plywood to actually route through our top pieces and cut them to shape. So I started cutting the top pieces with a router here, using a 1/2-inch bit with a bushing that would press against the side of our plywood shape and help guide the geometry throughout the cut. I took a first pass through the top pieces about a 1/4 inch deep instead of cutting through the entire piece on the first pass, because I was a little afraid of the pressure from the router bit ripping off or breaking some of the pieces which had just been glued together the night before. This is what it looked like after the first pass with that 1/2-inch bit on the router. I then took another pass with the router bit, now set to full length, in order to cut through the entire width of those top pieces to match the shape of the initial plywood template. At this point, the rough cut was finished, but I still needed to take a final pass through with a 1/4-inch bit on my router to get some of the tricky indentations on my shape. I was mostly eyeballing this since this skinny router bit didn't have a bushing to help guide the router cut. So I took my time on these harder to reach areas and made sure I didn't ruin any of my hard work so far. And once our final shape was done, I had a little tabletop planer, which was far from precise, but was helpful to shear off some of the rough edges on top of the wood piece, since not all of my widths and heights were perfect with the table saw cut earlier. I acknowledge many of you won't have something like this planer, but sandpaper can go a long way. I looked at all the sides where the top pieces were joined to the plywood with glue, and noticed that there were some gaps in between throughout. So before the next step, I took some wood glue and sawdust and filled in those crevices so there wouldn't be any visual gaps around the edges. Then it was time for some finishing touches to make this thing pretty. So I took a curved router bit and added rounded edges to both the bottom and top surfaces. So both the plywood backing and the top pieces would have nice, smooth, rounded corners. After I had rounded these edges, I used some sandpaper to make sure everything was nice and smooth on the surface. For hardware, I threw on a little hook so that this could be hung on any wall with a simple nail or screw. I was very careful not to drill through the front piece and ruin all of my hard work on the top surface. I then used some fine grit sandpaper to try and work out some of those final imperfections on the surface, and then followed that with a tack cloth to pick off any of the excess sawdust remaining on the surface. And here's the final product. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. You can do most of the cuts for a piece like this with a jigsaw, but the router really helped clean up all of the edges and made it look more professional. I've made a few of these now and people seem to really like them. If you have the tools, you have the time, I hope you're able to make a meaningful gift like this for someone you care about. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and subscribe for more DIY projects in the future.